Georgia. Now, where did I put that? Ah, yes, there it is. Hi everyone. My name's Malcolm Hazeldean. I'm an artist and a painter, and sure, it may not be apparent that I'm from the southern states of America. But I came to this beautiful state of Georgia some months ago on a personal quest. But what I found, and maybe not to replace that, was a state so rich with an amazing package of visual diversity and humility from the people, that as a filmmaker and artist I simply had to, I felt compelled to showcase what I saw. But what surprised me in my visit was the people within it. After all, it really is the people that make a state, I suppose, and a country. And yet it's a great mix of a city and the country folk that help give it its diversity. From the farmers and the charmers, the teachers, the preachers, maybe even the painters and entertainers. They all play a major role. On top of that, you have the state capital of Atlanta as your showpiece city. And yes, it has its wonderful infrastructure of world-class hotels, an airport with more connections than I could possibly count. And I'm not forgetting the museums, the art galleries, and the sidewalk and footpath eateries to simply, luxuriate it. Even your roads are nice, but regrettably some of mine look like this. And this. And oh yes, like this. What I did find outside the major cities or town centres was the real Georgia, the essence of the state, the grassroots and driving force of its entire essence, where it probably sits and functions very quietly, where its speed and accomplishments just tick over like a well-oiled clock. This is all achieved within its natural blanket of trees so much that at least Atlanta is often referred to as a city in a forest. Well, basically I just call it an entire state in the forest. But if you take me away from the big smoke and tall buildings of uptown and downtown, I find that it's the countryside and the wide open spaces that illustrate and showcase the true nature of Georgia. But for me, and where I come from, in a land so flat that it has the longest stretch of very flat and very straight railway track in the world. That in my world is called the Trans-Australian Railway, which crosses the Nullarbor Plain from South Australia in Adelaide, and more in particular Port Augusta, to way across the Great Divide Desert. But within that it includes 280 mile or 478 kilometre stretch of dead straight track shown here. So you might see why I'm actually excited about your lush and very treesy environment. But to put an exhibition series of paintings together, I've had to take absolutely hundreds and hundreds of photographs, coupled with gigabytes of video, all of course to make reference to back in the studio to see what might look good, ultimately look completely awesome on canvas. Of course, instead of spending the weeks and months and doing exactly that, I've ended up with, inevitably some would say, although that was partly planned, was a collection of images and video files that I was never able to cast aside like an unwanted drink can, or maybe have this end up simply unused and discarded on the edit room floor. Of course, these old buildings that I speak of, they truly are part of what make Georgia perfect and simply amazing the next. For I found that it's the people that provide the glue, the essence of self, one of a confidence or well-being. Like the magic coastal town of Savannah or the North Georgia mountain town of dahlonega, where the people smile all day and sit about drinking iced coffees and lemon teas just because they can. or maybe sitting around listening to a randomly selected group of musicians that play amazingly well. You do the country proud, Georgia. And from an outsider's perspective, you have a brashness that's garnished with, humility and humbleness that's forward-thinking and progress. From my perspective, I'm impressed. But as an artist, it's your sports that provide additional material for me. Like your fishermen and boaties or weekend warriors, your adrenaline junkies from all corners of the sports arena. It all stands as one in identifying who you are. At various points I did find the architecture, and in some places simply on every corner becoming a major painting. Maybe a complete sharpen the pencil moment, quite literally everywhere. Or maybe to take that set of images back to the studio and spend a week or two drawing, sharpening pencils and paintbrushes, drawing trees and motor cars or window reflections or flags that hang proudly outside everybody's porch. Or for these two older works here, sometimes a footpath or a sidewalk scene of which there are just simply so many to choose from. But look after what you have, Georgia. I am very impressed.
Take two.
But sometimes when your destination's in sight, you discover that it really is all about the journey.
Good morning, everyone.
But from an artist's perspective or point of view, my little blue light has gone off about 20 times and indicates to me that I now have about 20 or more paintings that are simply going to be amazing for my exhibition. That exhibition is simply titled Perfect One Day and Amazing the Next.